Part of my wife's family tree originates from the Isle of Jura in Scotland. A fact she told me many, many years ago, and then in my advent calendar I saw this little number from Jura, and it triggered my memory. Hey darling, aren't your family from Jura originally? Well. We both have a Scottish root in our family trees, but Jura whiskey is somewhat unique since it's the only whiskey distillery on that island. So I'm very interested to know just what that tastes like. The Jura 12-year single malt Scotch. Let's see. This is Whisky. I'm John Chidgey. Remember always to drink responsibly, in moderation, and where and when appropriate. Feel free to like and subscribe if you're watching this on YouTube, and visit engineer.network/whisky, without the E, to learn how you can support the show. Thank you. Now, I've already said that the Isle of Jura was small, and in terms of population it is. About 200 people live on it, and it has an area of about 367 square kilometres. Now, you compare that with Islay, just across the little bit of water there, it's got about 3,000 people living there, and it has an area of 622 square kilometres. So Islay is about twice the amount of land area and 15 times the population, with 10 times as many distilleries, roughly. Anyhow, island statistics aside, it's not a pissing contest, it is what it is. The distillery is located in the town of Craighead, which is obvious since it's the only town on the entire island, and it gets its water from Loch Abel Magad. Oh my god. Look, please don't hate me. That's real hard to pronounce. I apologise to anyone in Scotland who I've offended their sensibilities. It comes from a loch. At least I can say that right. It's a lake. Okay, there you go. Fantastic. It was originally constructed in 1831. That's the distillery, not the loch. By William Abercrombie, and whilst it was a relatively successful there for a while, eventually, due to disputes with families and the Laird of Jura, it closed in the early 1900s, and it was stripped of many parts that were then sold off. It wasn't until 1960, when Charles McKinley and Company took over the site, they rebuilt it, that the more modern distillery restarted production on the same site, and this one has 6 washbacks and a semi-lauter mash tun. They have two 2,500 litre wash stills and two 15,500 litre spirit stills, and they can produce 2.2 million litres of spirit every year. Their stills were the highest in the world at 28 feet, that's 8.5 metres high, but that was until Glenmorangie built taller ones in 1843. The Isle of Jura began sourcing its malts from the Port Ellen malting facility on Islay from 1978, and they included both peated and unpeated malts. Whilst Port Ellen's barley was mostly from Speyside, the peat used in the malting process for Jura is actually sourced from the Isle of Jura itself. A full-size version of this baby costs $100 Australian for a 700ml bottle from Dan Murphy's. It's been bottled at 40% ABV, and it has been both chill-filtered and coloured. It's considered to be part of Jura's signature series, also known as a core range of whiskies. The Jura website describes their 12-year offering like this: crafted in our exceptionally tall stills and matured in American white oak ex-bourbon casks, this Scottish Island whiskey is a testament to our fruity and balanced house style. With layers of peach, rice, citrus, and lightly toasted walnut, Jura 12-year-old is easy to enjoy and even better shared. Nice. If only my wife liked whiskey, I'd share it with her, since Jura. Anyway, the Jura website tasty notes are as follows. The colour is golden hued. On the nose, dried apricot, toasted walnut, and ripe citrus, alongside honeyed cereal and hints of ginger spice. On the palate, dark chocolate, dried apricot, and flashes of bright aromatic citrus. On the finish, roasted coffee notes and sherry-soaked raisins drifting into cinnamon, licorice, and a subtle hint of coastal freshness. That actually sounds pretty damn interesting. Let's see, shall we? Never tried it. So on the colour of that, I'd call that like a light gold colour. In terms of the legs, I'm looking for some legs here. There's some legs there, not particularly... Oh no, here we go. There's some around that side. There we go. Yeah, they're pretty fast running when they form. But given we know it's chill filtered and coloured, it is what it is. Let's see what we get on the nose. Ooh, wow. I'm definitely getting walnut on that. There's a toasted bitter walnut nose on that for sure. I'm getting some ginger, some vanilla. That citrus is a bit odd. like a well-ripened orange. Yeah, not like a fresh orange, like a... Yeah, okay. Don't know about the apricot, though. Yeah, and I'm getting almost like a wheat, like a shredded wheat kind of biscuity, cereal-y kind of a... They say honeyed cereal. It's like a shredded wheat, so there's a lot of wheat sort of like... It's not... I mean, I know it's a single malt, but... Anyway, alright, let's give this a taste. Oh, that's strong. That's, oh. I was not expecting it to be that intense. Caught me a bit off guard, that. Caught me a bit off guard, that. It's not bad, it's just I wasn't expecting it to be quite so strong. So for the mouthfeel, it's not really very creamy. It's a very, very faint, light creaminess at best. It's watery, almost a little bit. You can't really chew on it, but that's all right. It is chill filtered, so maybe that's part of the problem. I don't know with that, but that's okay. I mean, it's still, that's just mouthfeel. All right, so that's super strong on that that bitterness, that bitter kind of a walnut. I'm getting that bitter walnut. Maybe it's the bitterness is more akin to like a darker chocolate. Like a. It's got a bit of an it's either ABV or oaky burn. I can't quite separate it for some reason. It's strong. It's a very bold flavor, very strong flavor. And then the finish, I'm getting a little bit of a saltiness to it, very little faint peatiness. It's almost like a Highland peat. It's not like an Islay peat at all. Yeah, that is super lightly peated, which is okay. It's very, very faint. I wouldn't be surprised if this is, maybe I'm searching for something that's not there, but I could swear I've got a slightly coastal kind of a peatiness to it. Oh, maybe slightly salty too, but not much, eh? Very, very faint. Jesus, toasted walnuts. I like walnut in a brownie. Like, that's just magic. And I don't mind toasted walnuts at all. They're quite pleasant. All right, I'm just expecting it that time. So there's a stronger oak burn. It's not so much ABV. Front of the tongue, and it rolls real quick through to the back. And it's a nice warmth on the finish. The finish is not that long. It's probably about, I'd say it's on the, not much longer than moderate. It's relatively short, but I've had shorter finish whiskies before, so this is longer than that, but not quite a moderate finish in terms of duration. But yeah, and I would say that's quite a dark bitter. It's either bitterness from dark chocolate or bitterness from toasted walnut. There's definitely a bitterness to this, which I don't mind for something different. And I was braced for it this time, and now I can pick that. That is definitely a very ripe orange citrus on the front of my palate. It's different, hey. It's strong. It's strong. It's different. It's quite nice, but it's not. I wasn't expecting that to be quite so strong. All right, let's rank this baby, shall we? So in terms of price, that's the easiest place to start. For cost, it's a 2. It is affordable for good whiskey, and that's okay. And it's not on the high side of the bracket, so that's good too. But in terms of quality, where does this baby sit? I mean, I've got to admit, I didn't know what to expect. I don't really think that this quite crosses that magical line where it makes me smile. I have to confess, I would say that this is a 2. It's a high 2, and that would make it a nice go-to drink for some variety, but it's not quite a 3. It's a high 2, but not quite a 3. So with a 2 and a 2, obviously that makes it a yellow. Having a bottle of this, for occasional variety is probably, for something different, is probably okay. I'd be curious to try some of their older age statements and some of their other finishes, because this one, it's clearly a different flavor profile to an Islay whiskey. It's not even close. So honestly, I am curious to learn more about the Isle of Jura and the Jura Distillery. I think there could be something else interesting there. But as for this one, the 12-year, it's yellow. It's not a bad dram, that's for sure. It's bold, it's in your face. You know you're drinking this. And it's not too bad. And with that, cheers. See you next time. nutty.